So you're a catcher. That's awesome. Why? Because it's the best position in baseball to play. You have a ton of action. You're basically involved in every play of the game. You can call pitches, direct infield play, throw people out, and also have some pretty cool plays at home. There's a lot more too. You know what I'm talking about. But it's also the most physically demanding position on the field, no doubt. And when it's real hot out, you have that extra stuff on, right? The equipment, the helmet. It gets real hot under there in the summer, doesn't it? And it's all dusty. The dust on your sweaty arms turns into mud. You know what that feels like. Plus, you squat over and over and over again. You get hit by foul tips, balls in the dirt, and you can get run over or slid into by opposing players trying to score. So yep, that's a good question. Why, when there are other positions on the field to play, did you pick to be a catcher? Well, I think this may have started when you were really young. At least in many cases it does. You might have to think back when you first started playing, like when you were 6 or 7 or 8 years old. There's probably about 14 of you guys on the team, and at one point the coach probably asked, "Who wants to catch?" And about 10 or 12 of you raised your hands, right? Because you didn't know what this was about. Well, you soon found out. It was about catching batting practice. It was hot and dirty back there. You got beat up by foul balls, balls in the dirt, probably got hit by a bat or two. In games, there's no real action at that age. You're just the first backstop for the pitcher, a guy who's probably not having an easy time getting a ball across the plate. Evidence of that is the umpire's probably hiding behind the little catcher trying to protect himself. And if you remember, in those games there was walk after walk after walk. You know, those 20-0 games with one hit maybe, if you're lucky. There's no real training at that age. I think you're basically taught how to survive back there without getting hurt. So all in all, these experiences turns kids away from catching because they realize there's just too much work involved in being a catcher. There's no glamour there, no real visibility, especially during the games when, afterwards parents are talking about an outfielder who might have made a catch, or maybe there was a pitcher who pitched good, or a shortstop who fielded a ground ball. They don't have a clue who caught. So kids learn real quick. It's much more fun and exciting to be a star pitcher or flashy shortstop. That's just the way it is. But some of us stuck with it, right? Because we figure, you know what, next year, things will get better. I'll be a little older. I might be on a different team, so things will get better. They just have to. But actually, I think the next couple of years can be worse for a young catcher at times, because it can be a frustrating time. You do get some training, but just enough to help you out a little bit. It can be very hard to throw runners out, because at this age, kids are getting bigger, stronger, and faster. But the bases, well, they're still pretty close. Your pitchers can still be wild, and really can't hold runners that well. And your infielders, sometimes unless you get to throw perfectly to them, it ends up in the outfield, or hits them in the foot and rolls back into the infield, or something like that. And to people in the stands, it appears that, yes, you've made the bad throw, or you didn't get to throw down there in time. So it appears that you're weak, not capable of throwing runners out. And go to any game at this age level, you'll hear the moans and groans from the stands. So a young catcher got to have tough skin. Your ball blocking skills are many times self-taught. You're just trying to stop the ball somehow and not get hurt while trying to do this. Detailed training on other catching skills are rare. Things like when somebody hits a foul ball, how do you turn around and get it? How do you feel that pop fly? How do you handle bunts, if there's bunts at all? And how do you throw a runner out that's trying to steal third if there's a right-handed batter? There's ways to do this. So most of the time it is spent on other fielding positions and batting practice. And guess who gets to catch that? You do. But here's the thing. It's at these ages, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, where young dedicated catchers can develop into sharp, skilled catchers if they just get the right training. Because at the next level, this magical thing happens. The bases become 90 feet apart. And you got to be ready for this, because you can go from not being able to throw anybody out to throwing people out by 2 steps. It's that big a difference, and it feels great. So you'll notice that people cheering for you instead of hearing them moaning and groaning in the stands. And some of the people that's going to take notice could be your future coaches. And who might that be? Yep, could be your future high school coach. The thing about high school coaches is that some may not know a whole lot about catching. I mean, the basics are there, but that could be about it. And if they've never been a catcher, it makes it a little bit tougher. They may not spend the required time with the catchers, meaning they don't go into the detailed catching work. And a lot of times that's not their fault, because if you know the high school schedule, there's a lot of games compressed into a small amount of time. So these coaches have to put an infield together and outfield, got to work with pitchers. So a lot of times that detailed catching work just gets missed. And so when a coach sees a kid come into tryouts, could be in 9th grade, 10th grade, doesn't really matter, and the kid has quick feet, sharp throwing mechanics, it can block basically anything in the dirt, this coach can make a snap positive decision to keep this guy on the team, just because he really looks like he knows what he's doing. He really looks like a trained catcher. And if this 9th or 10th grader looks good enough, he can end up being the starting catcher. No kidding, this happens more often than you think. So here's a few notes about high school catchers. Good high school catchers obviously are hard to find. Good catchers do get noticed by college and pro scouts. And remember, the high school season is short, so a catcher has to make a good impression early on. Pitchers love to have good blocking catchers behind the plate when they pitch, because a good catcher makes a pitcher look really good, and they'll tell you that. One of the most important things is you need to work on your own, not only during the off season, but during the season, to sharpen and improve your catching skills. And if you plan to go on and play in college, you want to try to look good in most games, especially during your junior and senior high school years, because this is when college scouts and some pro scouts are hanging around. So you want to look technically sharp with correct form, so when they do show up, you might be able to impress them a little bit. And common sense, there's just a big advantage of going into college catching with solid technical catching skills. It could help your playing time out. So, how do I do this? How do I get the proper training to become a technically skilled catcher? Well, it might be a little bit easier than you think, but you do need to get the information, the training, skills, and drills from the pros. And who might that be? Well, obviously, former professional players and college coaches. You'll see them holding clinics throughout the year, and there might be some in your area, but be selective if you can. And what I mean by that is try to find a catching-only clinic. It'll be much more focused, you'll get a lot more for your money, and you'll learn a lot more. So try to be selective if you can. The other sources of information I absolutely love are DVDs. So why should I get some of these? Simply, you'll learn numerous drills and training techniques for practicing and improving your catching skills. Things like proper stances, how to receive pitches correctly, how to block balls in the dirt, that's huge. Learn proper footwork, fast footwork. Learn proper throwing mechanics for all throws. Learn how to handle bunts properly. Learn how to catch foul balls. Plus a whole lot more. It's really like having a professional coach in your living room. And another thing, and this is real important, when you watch a couple of these DVDs, you'll be getting coaching and teaching from multiple sources. And when you see them teaching basically the same ideas and techniques, like how to block balls, throwing to second base, throwing to third base, having quick feet, quick release, this tells you that you're learning the right stuff the right way. And this does what? Well, it makes you confident in what you know and confident in your execution, and for a catcher, having confidence is extremely important. This can't be stressed enough. So, these DVDs can truly be your personal catching coaches, no doubt. They can greatly improve your catching ability, especially young catchers when they're just learning catching techniques. You can be a young catcher that is years ahead of other catchers, even though these guys might be older than you right now. And parents, these DVDs can be great for you. Why? Well, because these DVDs are full of drills that require two people to do properly. And a dad or even a mom can do these drills with their young catcher and help him get better and better. Coaches, these can be really great for you. You can watch them and get some really good ideas to make your practices better and more productive for your catchers. especially in the time that you think you might have with them. And also, if you want, you can give these to your catchers so that they can watch them on their own time if they want. Good catchers, motivated catchers, will do this. Take note of who does. So as a coach, well, I think these can really help you out. So, what can these DVDs do for me? Well, a whole lot. You'll learn detailed catching skills that you probably would have never even heard about. But mainly, they're really good at teaching the big, basic catching skills. They can transform you from a catcher who's just getting by, doing what you need to do, into a skilled catcher with fast feet, sharp throwing mechanics, and the ability to stop the ball in the dirt, whether it's right in front of you or off to the sides. Those three things will get you noticed. They'll make you stand out from other catchers if you're really good at them, bottom line. Okay, so what do you do next? Well, if you're on the main baseball catching page, which is the page with the video and articles below the video, just click on the red Act Now button that you see right under the video. Looks like this. This will take you to the page with a number of great catching DVDs. If you're not on the main baseball catching page and you're watching the video from some other website, look for a blue link right below the video, or maybe to the right of the video. It looks just like the one you see here in blue. Click on it and you'll get to the main baseball catching page, and from there you can click on that Act Now button. And finally, if you don't see a link anywhere, just enter the link you see above in blue into your address bar or recent pages bar, whatever they call that thing, and hit enter. This will take you to the main baseball catching page, where again, click on that red Act Now button. You can pause this video to write down the address if you need to. And like I said before, having a few of these DVDs, it's like having a professional catching coach come and talk to you right in your own living room. So if you really want to make yourself stand out from the rest, pick a few of these up. You won't regret it. Okay, that's it. So if you're a serious catcher, especially a young one in that prime time that I've talked about, do what you can to get better. A lot of it depends on you and no one else. That's just how it is. Work hard, practice hard, and play hard. You never know how far this will take you, but it's a must if you want to be a starting high school or college catcher. And who knows, you might one day make it to the big leagues. And one last thing, make sure you have fun too. That's real important. Hey, thanks for listening, and good luck.